Welcome back to the late day wrap up, of which we have plenty to discuss on, of course, Bitcoin itself and following up on some major indices across the US lands. A little bit of Dixie action to start it off as always. And I would like to say before we get into this, if you want the more in-depth analysis, definitely check out this morning's video. For whatever reason, the morning videos, like sometimes they're kind of hit or miss with whether they get sent out or not. A lot of people complaining about this one's, this morning specifically video was actually not, or they didn't get notifications for it and kind of wasn't even being shown on YouTube. So I don't know what's going on there, man. I can certainly send a message to YouTube and ask what's up, maybe see if there's an issue on my end perhaps that I can fix myself. But at the end of the day, I think this is gonna be the one time that I actually fucking say this. If you actually do like, or you don't have to like, but if you do subscribe and then hit the bell thing, that should in theory notify you. So other than that, I'm gonna try to look into it myself because I do think it's been a kind of a continuous issue here. And let's get into it right now. Starting off with Dixie as always. So we did see about the $93.50 target hit, and I would still remain overall bullish on this one, but I would be looking for a little bit of a short-term, medium-term pullback based upon that $93.50 target getting hit from way back when, man. I mean, this was coming in from, Jesus fucking Christ, man, like all the way back from the January, February, and March accumulation lows. So while I would be looking for this one to likely play out a little bit of short-term downside, maybe even come back down to like 92.5, ultimately I do still favor the upside long-term because this is all a setup for the monthly closure coming in tonight, and the monthly is looking nice and girthy right now as it is going to be closed on a very obvious confirmed reversal plus momentum as we do see Jesus Christ, man, I can't find my proper words right now, but more importantly, we do see that hidden bullish evidence is going to be initiated right here between this point on our December lows versus our January 2018 lows, and that is this low right here and this low right here, ever so slightly a higher low. Then of course we also do see that this is going to be turning our monthly Stokes back up as well, which we can reference over here, which is where the fuck did I put my Dixies? There it is, found it. There it is, and let's bring it up right here. And can we load it? Maybe not. Nope, doesn't even exist. Sorry, there's no more Dixies right here. What the fuck? What's going on right now? This is so strange. TradingView's acting weird today, I suppose, but don't take my word for it. Just check for yourself. It is actually turning up on the, or actually we're not even on the monthly right here. That is so strange. Okay, here we go, finally. And this is actually hitting the same trend line that has held up the last few lows, going all the way back to April, May of 2003. And then we got this one over here in March 08. Then we got this one over here in August 11th. And then most recently in December 2020. So I do look for this to kind of act as more of a macro low here. And while I would be looking for a short-term pullback, like I said, ultimately, I do think that this one heads up further north. $94.50 is going to be the next like major target, probably a bigger pullback from that region. But ultimately, this is starting to look a lot more like this one wants to give another try to the upside long term. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing make a run towards 95.5, maybe even 96, and then kind of come back to it after that. That will put downwards pressure on price action for general US dollar pairings and forex land. So that's kind of why I covered this one. Yes, it does have implication with you know, everything else that trades against the US dollar, but it's not direct. It's not a direct corollary. It's measuring its the dollar strength versus other fiat currencies, not just the dollar strength or just the dollar's value in general. It's kind of a different thing, although they can have certain similar implications, but again, not the most direct way of doing it. So it's not gonna be the most accurate way of doing it for all the people out there saying, but they're printing money. Well, it doesn't matter if they're fucking printing money if other countries are printing about the same as well or more, which is what it's kind of looking like right here. So I would just generally be bullish still on dollar pairings. I feel like I've kind of been a dead record on this one, or a broken record on this one. Dead horse and broken record. Yeah, there you go. For the last like 4 or 5 months, looking for lows out of this area. Now we're just kind of slowly seeing it come to fruition. So I kind of do like to follow up on that for people who have been here for a while, as you know, these things take time, right? I mean, we're looking at multiple decades here of price action. So it is going to naturally take its time. Anyways, that will lead us into our traditional market analysis, which we can go and check out. Let's check out Dow Jones right here, reapproaching 33,000 bucks. I'd say any sort of a closure, especially even above 32,500, and I'd be massively, okay, maybe not massively, but I certainly would remain bullish into the month of April, and probably after that as well, as the quarterly is going to be looking pretty damn girthy here too. In fact, yes, very nice right here, as we do see the hidden bullish evidence once again bring it back up above the exponential on the within the bullish control zone, which is all looking good for continuation into the next couple months, maybe even 3 months of price action. Short term, however, what does that mean? Short term, very similar to Bitcoin, a little bit of a short term down, but I do look at this first and foremost as a higher low in progress. What's kind of driving that bias? Well, what we typically want to see is we want to see hidden bullish evidence on the other side of that, around the edge of the bullish control zone. In this case right here, that's actually exactly what we do have potentially in the making. This will be confirmed on this next closure in 8 minutes and 33 seconds, so very, very soon here, especially anywhere above 33,000 bucks. What what is this level right here? 32,950. Anywhere above there would be good enough for me, but right now trading another like $30 above there. So overall just needs to hold it for the next 8 minutes. And yes, I would be looking for another retest of the prior high on this one, 33,100, and very likely new all-time highs coming into the month of April. If that condition is not met, then, you know, could it play at a greater pullback? Yeah, possibly down to like 32,800 region, but it's not really looking like that's what's going to happen right here. And again, only 8 minutes left to really confirm that one. Moving on to SPY futures, back up, actually doing exactly what I would have been looking for Dow Jones. So SPY looking like it wants to kind of take the reins of the market and lead. This is also kind of not just printing higher lows and also confirming that hidden bullish evidence right here, but you do have a bit of an ascending triangle at a high level. I mean, basically at the prior all-time high, and that's going to help generate some more short-term bullish biases for targets to the upside if that condition is met, which it looks like it very likely will be within the next 7.5 minutes now. And that's going to be pointed up a little bit shy of $4,000, which is actually still in line with the more medium-term target based off the daily, as we do see the one spot 272 and the one spot 414 a little bit above $4,000, which is kind of generally where I'm looking towards. We also have a fresh bullish cross on the 4-hour TSI. So generally speaking, short-term timeframes, yep, I'm still bullish on here. And of course, going into the monthly, looking really fucking good, actually. I really have no real reason to not be looking for new all-time highs coming in the month of April, and probably for the next month after that too. Monthly RSI telling the story long-term, hidden bullish divergence, back into the bullish control zone, very constructive for the last, this is going back way fucking far, but especially this area right here, over the last, Jesus Christ, over like the last almost 10 years. So looking pretty damn good there. And yes, I would be looking for continuation. I know it looks fucking crazy. I agree it is crazy, but don't fight the market right now, as this thing is still getting marked up, it looks like. Moving on to NASDAQ, finally getting a little bit of love here too. We did say that this one was likely to put in a higher low yesterday. Looks like that's what we've gotten today as well. And yes, there it is, fully confirmed right there. There's your 12,800 higher low. Boom, confirmation back above 12,950. And yes, we get another run at the 200 simple right here. Here's the thing though, the 200 simple has essentially been governing the highs ever since middle to late end of February right here. And with that said, while I do think it's going to very likely have a chance to break it, technically speaking, I'd like to see it, fully confirm itself first. In this case, an open and closure would be, both an open and closure above that would be your confirmed take. However, and welcome to our new friend. However, it should be worth mentioning here a couple things going on with the TSI. First and foremost, Jesus Christ, man, it's too much right now. First and foremost, back above the zero bias read, which is going to be just more or less bullish. And on top of that, we are also breaking this trend line coming in back from 17th of March. Okay, we need to turn this off right now because this is going to be too damn much. There we go. All right, whoops, 1 and 2, beautiful. All right, so yes, we once again have a bullish bias on this as momentum does turn up, and this one is essentially approaching what would be your sort of short-term, medium-term reversal. Of course, this needs to be mediated by the monthly here, and as we've been saying, any sort of a closure above $13,000, and I'd generally be bullish on this one as well. So all three major indices looking pretty damn good into the monthly closure and also the quarterly closure. So I generally be having a bullish bias on them. And with that said, I mean, that's generally going to bode well for just about everything in the world, Bitcoin included. But before that, we need to talk about gold, and gold will not be getting any of that. Gold getting absolutely fucking shellacked here. We didn't do a stream yesterday. Oh, no, that's right. I was talking to Jackie yesterday. But yeah, we were both actually looking for a little bit of bounce off this region right here. Obviously, I didn't do a video on this one yesterday, but I don't think that this bounce holds. The bounce that I was looking for looks like it pretty much already played out. I was saying about 1775. We only got up to about 1755, so target not really met on that one. You get the hero of death here, and typically that's going to be continuation. So I'd actually be looking for this one to come further south over the next few months. Does it try another bounce on the 21? Probably yes, but ultimately this is looking pretty nasty long term. No, I do not think that this is a fucking massive cup and handle. No, I do not think that this is a bull flag. It is anything but probably does have a little bit of a short-term bounce. Long-term, however, not looking good right there, man. Anyways, moving on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin from this morning's stream, we actually did see a little bit of further upside continuation here, and I really want to talk about this for a second because this is actually really interesting stuff. So we actually haven't seen one of these Darth Maul dildos in a while, and these were actually really, really classic, especially in 2018, 2019, and a little bit in the beginning of 2020, but really didn't see all that many of them in 2020. And what you typically see them at is, what you typically see them do is on the same side of the trend, they will typically, head up to that next major level. In this case, we're in an uptrend, so it heads up to the resistance, initially sells off hard, and then eventually is bought back up aggressively on the other side after that initial sell-off, getting all those liquidations, thus creating the old Darth Maul dildo. And in this case right here, this is a fucking perfect example of it, because what happens after that essentially maintains that bias? Well, it's quite literally putting a fucking higher low right here, and I'd be willing to bet that there's also hidden bullish divergence on there as well, and that would further confirm it. And guess fucking what? Credit caretaker on this one. Yes, it is very much a a possibility on the next closure. Any sort of a closure above the 10 simple will will definitely do it. Any sort of a closure above last 4-hour high at 58,290 would do it for me as well. And then yes, I'd be looking for another reapproach of 60,000 bucks essentially, as that would be more or less fine. I mean, it's still an uptrend here. So what did we say from this morning's video? And again, I don't really want to go over a shit ton of the higher term time frame stuff. So again, reference this morning's video if you want all of that. But for right now, we did identify that there was an inverted head and shoulders coming out of the base from 23rd of March right here, left shoulder head on the 25th, and double right shoulder with the rightmost on the 28th. And that has a measure move all the way up to 62,000 bucks. And what I have been saying is that I'm generally looking for continuation on all of the short-term timeframes to that target. You know, obviously there's going to be pullbacks along the way, but the key component in that is as long as Bitcoin is maintaining the uptrend on that same time frame, this time frame being a 4-hour, I wouldn't be looking for like a greater pullback than anything like this, really. I mean, this is yet again another higher low. So if this does get confirmed as a higher low, we can move up this failure point from about 57,200, or sorry, is this 57.1? Yeah, more like 57.1 actually, to this next area right here at about 58,000 even. And that would imply that if Bitcoin does break back down below there, I'd be looking for a move back down, you know, a couple $1,000 towards about 56,000 bucks, probably another bounce, and then I want to see it in real time. But for right now, I still do look at this as kind of trend in progress, with momentum being mediated in the interim, or sorry, in the short term. And this is again a big setup for the month to come. I said I wouldn't talk about high term timeframes, but fuck it, it is the end of the month after all. So this is really what I should be focusing on. So you know, as always, I want to say that short term timeframes I don't feel too compelled by. The higher term timeframes very much so. We are going to be getting yet again or very likely, barring another $15,000 dump to 45,000 bucks, which, you know, well, actually we haven't gotten one of those before, but it would be quite the thing before end of day in the next 9 hours and 51 minutes and 28 seconds. But we are going to see that condition met. That has been met 100% of the time in Bitcoin's history, where anytime that Bitcoin does trend above the topside trailing band, it tests the topside trailing band with the bottom side of that month's low. In this case, the monthly low is 45,000 bucks, and right now it's being pulled up all the way to 44,000 bucks, which is pretty much close enough for myself. Yes, it can be a little bit off, but ultimately, you know, that was kind of driving the bias from this last month that Bitcoin come all the way back down, perhaps even to 40,000 bucks when it was down around there earlier within the month. Obviously, that did not happen. We got the more bullish resolution of the two, where Bitcoin is essentially just got so fucking girthy here that it essentially pulled it up as it is a reactive indicator at the end of the day. And in this case, yes, you know, it essentially does support the bullish bias coming into the month of April, and probably on top of that, because guess what? That's going to lead into the quarterly here too. And the quarterly is going to be having its second consecutive closure above the topside trailing band. Again, going to be essentially setting the bias for at least the next 3 months, maybe even 6 months on this one. And that's supported by momentum oscillators, where you see DMI plus very much dominate, ADX strengthening, and quarterly Stokes getting in the bullish control zone for the first time really since January 2017. January 2017 right here. And that was quite literally all the way back on over here at about $1,000 before leading up onto 20,000 bucks. Now, I don't think that that's a full statement in and of itself. Let's go down to the daily and see what else we can find. Well, we can find this, of course. We can find daily Stokes playing out the same trend line, going all the way back from coronavirus dump times right around here, connected with the $10,000 lows in September, connected with the, I think it was like $45,000 lows in early March, and then once again at about 50 and some odd change, I think 51,000 bucks down here, officially going to be getting out of the bearish control zone and into the bullish control zone for the first time in since early March. Actually, it's pretty damn good. On top of that, we do see an ADX DMI signal in its infancy here as well. DMI plus is dominant, just barely. ADX also strengthening, similar signature to what we saw back on over here, similar to this one over here, and similar to this one over here, and this one over here. Let's go see what happened on price action with those ones. Well, now is this one right here, popping up all the way from about 50,000 bucks to 62,000 bucks. Quite nice. That was similar to this one over here, where Bitcoin popped up from about 34,000 bucks all the way to, well, about 46,000 bucks almost immediately, and then a high of about 58,000 bucks. Not bad. This one over here in December from about 20,000 bucks to ultimately 40,000 bucks. Not bad as well. This one over here from about 11,000 bucks to 20,000 bucks. So pretty nice moves on top of those. And this is also mediated by yet again, you know, another cross above, or not cross, but another push above the 20 simple, which Bitcoin's essentially using as a nice basing for price action right here. In fact, that's exactly what caught the dump low so far. So actually pretty damn normal stuff, in fact. And we are going to see MACD histogram, or sorry, MACD very likely cross the upside here with any sort of a closure above, or actually maybe not today. 59,000 bucks is the magical number for that. However, the TSI, which should lead into that, has already crossed as of yesterday. In fact, already confirmed, and will remain angled to the north side as long as we're above 57,300. So all of that is still pointing at least further north for myself. Oh, guess what? We also have hidden bullish evidence on the daily. Guess what? We also have hidden bullish evidence on the 2 daily. Guess what? We already have we also have 3-day hidden bullish evidence as well. Guess what? On the 5-day, it's about to be confirmed tonight, if seen as it closes tonight as well. So all of that stuff does look more or less good to me. It's obviously going to be mediated by something on the short and medium term time frames, but just going level by level here, or not even level by level, but even on the very short term, 58,000 bucks, it's not even a red flag. Red flags are going to be thrown below this level right here, below 54,000 bucks, and then potentially even reversal signals below about 51.5 to 52,000 bucks right here. But we're very far away from that right now. Then again, knock on wood, it is Bitcoin after all. But ultimately, I just want to show that the short term time frames are actually very far away from the high term time frame resolutions right now, to the downside, that is. To the upside, same levels are very much relevant here, but seeing as we do have that nice liquidity grab at that just around $60,000 level, that will now become a continuation point. So I could be looking for continuation in one of two ways here. And in fact, I'd even say that just a wick up higher than this one's just easiest. Like that's, or it's just, well, it's naturally easiest and probably just better to wait for, honestly. But if you're looking for closures, then still 59,600 is kind of where I'd be looking towards. However, I think that the wick above there probably just happens a little bit faster, just because, waiting for a closure is probably just going to bust through anyways. And at that point, I'd be looking for the full on measured move for the inverted head and shoulders to get met. That's 62,000 bucks. And guess what? That plays into the daily for Bitcoin over here on CME. By the way, the daily for Bitcoin on CME did also have hidden bullish evidence on MACD histogram. But on top of that, we do see that there is a bit of an ascending triangle going on right here. And guess what? We actually technically did see a bit of a breakout above it yesterday. Now, I did say on this morning's video, this is a little bit, what's it called? A little bit questionable here, just because typically speaking, you want to see continuation out. Once that condition is met almost immediately. I'd say on a daily, no more than 48 hours is what I kind of give for this one to have continuation. So this one, obviously in its first day, or its first half day thus far, so far I suppose so good, but the volume is a bit of a warning signal there, I suppose, but it's not a done deal in and of itself just yet. Again, I'd give it at least 2 days before I accurately judge it, and again, there will be areas of interest on to the upside as well, somewhere around 63, about 63,000 bucks, and then of course we got the 3 spot 618, also confluent with the ascending triangle target. And that really makes me kind of look at the 20 simple right here as, actually a good medium-term buy. So that would be about 55,400 on CME. And then, of course, your higher low is going to be 52,000 bucks now. So as long as Bitcoin's above there on the macro scale, I have no reason to be bearish at all. Now, of course, that would be about an $8,000 move from here. So that's going to be mediated by the 20 simple right here, just kind of quite literally getting the median of this range at about 55,000 bucks. So ultimately, I suppose I still do favor the upside, but like I have been saying, I feel a lot more confident on the higher term timeframes here. Not that confidence should mean anything. Of course, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but things are looking, at least in my eyes, more or less good here. So I think with that said, I will be signing off now. I want to wish you well. Happy end of March and happy beginning of April, and we will speak soon. Take care.